The Cabinet, which met today under the chairmanship of the Honorable Prime Minister, paid its homage to the victims of the cowardly attack in Assam yesterday. All members of the Cabinet observed 2-minute silence as a mark of respect to the victims. There were several important decisions that the Cabinet today took. But before I brief you on that, the entire nation today is celebrating the honor that it has conferred on Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya and Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Both have been conferred the highest civilian award of Bharat Ratna. It's a recognition of their services to this country. Malviya ji is a great freedom fighter, an eminent lawyer, a great educationist, and a very strong nationalist. He was for several terms the President of the Indian National Congress. He established the Banaras Hindu University, the legacy of which is very powerful till today. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee has been one of the most outstanding prime ministers and political leaders that India has seen in the post-independence era. Atalji has been a very strong nationalist committed to the cause of this country, a complete product of parliamentary system and multi-party democracy. A man who always realized the virtues of consensus, one of the greatest communicators that India has ever seen, and somebody who made his presence felt at a national level, was committed to complete peace in Southeast Asia, and the country is today honored, has had the privilege of honoring these two great leaders. We all wish Atalji a good health and a very long life. मैं इसको हिंदी में भी अनुवाद करके बतला देता हूं कि आज एक गौरव का भी दिन है कि पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय जी और श्री अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी को जो सर्वोच्च नागरिक सम्मान है भारत रत्न का, उनको दिया गया है। राष्ट्रपति जी ने आज उसकी घोषणा की है। मालवीय जी एक बहुत स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन के बहुत बड़े नेता थे। कई बार कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष रहे, एक विधिवक्ता भी थे, एक एजुकेशनलिस्ट थे, राष्ट्रवादी विचारों के लिए उनको जाना जाता था, बनारस हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय की स्थापना करना उनका एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण योगदान था। अटल जी इस देश के बहुत सफल प्रधानमंत्रियों में से और राजनीतिक नेताओं में से रहे हैं। देश की राजनीति और देश के प्रति उनकी सेवा आज की पीढ़ी ने भी देखी है। संसदीय व्यवस्था में से वो एक प्रकार से राजनीतिक जीवन में पैदा हुए। आम राय के आधार पर देश को ले जाना और राष्ट्र के प्रति समर्पित रहना, लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में उनका बहुत विश्वास था। जब राजनीतिक जीवन में सक्रिय रहे, और आज हम उनके अच्छे स्वास्थ्य और दीर्घायु की कामना करते हैं। आज मंत्रिपरिषद की बैठक में 3 महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय हुए। पहला निर्णय था कि जो कोल एलोकेशन का अध्यादेश था, लोकसभा ने उसे पारित किया था और राज्यसभा में उस पर चर्चा नहीं होने दी गई। आज उस ऑर्डिनेंस को रीप्रमलगेट किया गया है। इसके साथ साथ जो कोल ब्लॉक के ऑक्शन की व्यवस्था है, पावर सेक्टर में और अन्य सेक्टर्स में, उसकी जो गाइडलाइंस हैं, उन गाइडलाइंस को भी मंत्रिपरिषद ने अप्रूव किया है। With the repromulgation, the unfinished process of allocation of call blocks will resume again. The guidelines have been approved for the methodology, how coal blocks will be allocated for the power sector and for the other core sectors. After this press conference, if you stay back, those of whom you want to know this process of auctioning in detail, the coal secretary, Shri Anil Sarup, will be here and he will in detail explain the same to you. Besides the issue of coal, the insurance laws amendment bill has been pending in Parliament for a very long time. The Standing Committee of Parliament had approved the bill. Thereafter, the Rajya Sabha had constituted a select committee of the Rajya Sabha to again go into all the facts. The select committee approved the bill with some modifications. Even though the select committee by an overwhelming majority recommended the bill for adoption, the same was not permitted to be taken up for discussions because of disturbances in the Rajya Sabha. The government therefore decided to recommend to the Honorable President the promulgation of the insurance amendment laws. The ordinance is exactly and verbatim in terms of the recommendations of the select committee. So what has been approved by a select committee of members who represent an overwhelming majority in both houses of Parliament, their suggestion has been entirely incorporated and an ordinance to this effect has been recommended to the President. I need not go into the details because the content and the structure of the Select Committee's recommendations are known to all of you. These are the three important decisions which have been taken today. I have one or two more informations to give to you. One is there's been a review of the policy on foreign direct investment in pharmaceutical sectors. So far, both in the greenfield and the brownfield projects, 100% FDI is allowed in the pharmaceutical sector. Within the same category, a distinct new subcategory has been carved out with regard to medical devices. These days, in the age of super specialization, if medicines and pharmas are one aspect in which India has attained a certain amount of core competence, we still haven't achieved that in medical devices, particularly which are to be installed in human body for the purposes of treatment. So that has been carved out as a separate category itself. There were some errors in the allocation of number of constituencies in the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, which were allocated to the state of Andhra Pradesh. The Act had mentioned 50 for the Legislative Council, whereas it is actually 58. So that has been corrected. Additionally, on the 2nd and 3rd of January 2015, a bankers' meet it's a retreat for banks and financial institutions which is being held at Pune. On the 3rd, realizing the importance of this meet and with an idea that we need to inject more liquidity into the market, the Prime Minister would also be going to Pune to participate in the concluding session of the bankers' meet. So this bankers' retreat is being given prime importance. Both the MOS and myself will also be present at this retreat, besides officials of the Department of Financial Services. Thank you.
One minute.
Same.
Yeah.
सर, आमतौर पे अध्यादेश के लिए कहा जाता है कि जब बहुत अर्जेंसी होती है तब अध्यादेश लाया जाता है, जैसा एक कोल में किया हम लोगों ने। इंश्योरेंस में अध्यादेश लाने के पीछे मकसद क्या है सर?
बहुत विलंब हो चुका है, इसलिए अर्जेंसी है।
Sir, one of the key recommendations of the Select Committee was regarding 49% FTA, which I'm sure is there in the ordinance. Now, sir, foreign investors, they want stable laws, and, will the ordinance lead to FDI infusion in the insurance sector?
The ordinance demonstrates the firm commitment and the determination of this government to reforms. It also announces to the rest of the world, including investors, that this country can no longer wait, even if one of the houses of parliament waits indefinitely to take up its agenda.
Was CCS held today, or they took some decisions?
Yes, they did, but those are normally not announced.
What is the tune of capital inflows that the government expects to get over the next few years with raising of the FDI limit to 49%? Any estimation for that?
The popular estimation goes into several billions. The figures between 6 to 8 billions is popularly mentioned.
So the road ahead as far as coal block auctions is concerned, how soon can we see tender documents being floated, and are we looking at the March 31st deadline for letters of assurance?
We have actually given a whole timeline on the net, and we are confident that before 31st March, which is the last date for by when these coal blocks have to be taken over from the prior allottees, the erstwhile allottees, we shall complete the process. In the first stage, our focus is on the 42 mines which were operating or can be operated. Of them, in one mine, there is some clearance, environment clearance issue. So 41, we are taking up post haste. The methodology has been approved by the cabinet. The methodology focuses in granting maximum benefit to the common man of India. The process has been devised in a manner in which power tariffs in the country will reduce, and there is no possibility whatsoever of the power tariff due to the coal block auction increasing at all. It's a reverse bidding where the existing coal prices are the top cap, and the bidding will be for how much concession the person or the winner of the auction will give to the consumer of power. So it's a very robust methodology, transparent through e-bidding, computer-based systems. MSTC will be conducting those auctions. State Bank of India, SBI CAPS is the transaction advisor, and the whole process will be completed for these operating and ready to operate mines before 31st March, to be quickly followed with more mines in Schedule 3. Some we have transferred from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Overall, we see about 100 mines which will satisfy the unmet demand not only of the power sector but also of captive power plants, steel, cement, aluminium, all other requirements, so that we can bring down the import of thermal coal very significantly and very rapidly to try and eliminate it in the next 2-3 years, and also make sure that the common man gets benefit, apart from the eastern states who will get a large part of revenue of this auction. $1 billion. वो तो ऑक्शन के बाद ही मालूम पड़ेगा जब ऑक्शन में बिड अमाउंट आएगा, पर अंदाजन जो राज्यों में ये कोयले के ब्लॉक स्थित हैं, जहां पे भी ये कोयले के ब्लॉक है, उड़ीसा, वेस्ट बंगाल, झारखंड, छत्तीसगढ़ अधिकतर, वहां पे अगले 30 वर्षों में लाखों करोड़ रुपए का फायदा उन राज्यों को मिलेगा, और साथ ही साथ लाखों करोड़ रुपए का फायदा अगले 30 वर्षों में जो ये ब्लॉक्स की यूजेबल लाइफ है, उसमें जनता को लोअर पावर टैरिफ के रूप में।
अगर मैं संक्षिप्त में कह दूं कि कोल ब्लॉक की जो ऑक्शन होगी, उसमें जिन राज्यों को सबसे ज्यादा राजस्व मिलेगा, उसमें झारखंड, वेस्ट बंगाल, ओडिशा और छत्तीसगढ़ होंगे। तो कौन अपने राज्य के राजस्व के खिलाफ वोट देता है, उस सांसद के चुनाव क्षेत्र तक भी ये संदेश पहुंचेगा।
Sir, adopting the ordinance route, are you expecting in the next session, the insurance bill to be cleared?
देखिए, I had in my address to the FICCI said that if Parliament is not allowed to function, the framers of the Constitution had even then provided that the decision making of the country doesn't come to a halt. So if you go back and read the Constitution of India, when an ordinance now comes, after being approved and promulgated, this ordinance is law, it will be acted upon. It will go to one house of parliament, hopefully be approved. Thereafter it goes to the other house of parliament, hopefully it should be approved. And if that doesn't happen, then there is still a mechanism in the constitution itself. Therefore, stalemate and obstructionism can't go on in perpetuity. There is a constitutional remedy. And as I said, even if one of the houses fails to take up the agenda and doesn't proceed further, the nation cannot wait. हम सरकार की और इस देश की कमिटमेंट आगे बढ़ने के लिए दिखलाना चाहते हैं.
So sir, because the coal-related legislation was cleared by Lok Sabha and could not be cleared by Rajya Sabha, and going by what we saw in the winter session, is the government open to a joint session in such a case?
Well, why don't you read the constitution? It provides the remedy. The fact you are asking this question is, you know the answer.
Last question.
Sir, have you decided on the next Chief Minister of Jharkhand?
किसने पूछा? We will decide. देखिए, a lot of good things have happened. The first good thing is in May we came to power. In October we won 2 states. In December we won the 3rd one. In the 4th one we got the highest number of votes, Jammu and Kashmir. The obstructionist came 4th in both the states. The Janta Parivar could not open its account in any of the 2 states. So there is a creeping acquisition, as the business journalist would say, in terms of the change of membership potentially in the upper house. 4 states itself makes a difference. So now these are all the good things which are happening. Malviya ji and Atal ji have got the Bharat Ratna. And you have 2 very important pieces of reform legislations which will today become the law. And Merry Christmas to you.